dzacho kuchiridzwa mimanzi yacho DJ Purufu ndati wedzere mawaksi DJ Purufu vaudze munhu wese kundovhota ngapinde mukomana ngapinde chamisa uyo achinge apinda corruption ichapera.
The candidate, not Tendai Biti. The passport. Was that new, sir? Mr. Gopal, that new, sir? Come on. Ready, let's do it. What is it?
Take your time, take your time. Thank you.
History in the making. So, Councillor Keith Chalobia.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, President. Sinipeo kafika yeye mangana tukusi.
Media, yes, in German, computers. Kemudian footnote. Okay.
86. His limit is close. So I'm trying to say my education. Tell our lawyers. I've been going into the so before this regulation. Because I'm good they've watched those and watch it. You know, this it's not your problem. Baba wazite ndabona bese yabo ingofara ndayona let's put this way so that it wins. You're welcome. Urmana wangu ka?
Yeah.
Tapi jamu nunggu dah ayah awak. Just this day.
The electoral process started.
Well, we are extremely disappointed by the fact that there's clear you will actually find your name. If you go inside the polling station, they will turn you away. But when you insist that my name is there and it's on the application, they will eventually unearth a phantom voters roll from somewhere, from nowhere. So it is self-evident to us that they at least have 4 voters. The one that is posted on the app, the one that is posted outside the polling station, and then 2 more that are inside, including the other 2. This is most unfortunate because the right to vote is sacrosanct. It's protected by Section 68 of the Constitution. We have gone into this election under protest because we wanted copies of the voters, but we were denied. But having said that, it's quite clear that the citizen is making a bold statement, a loud statement, and the result is going to be fantastic. There have been hitches there, in particular in Harare East. Our opponent, a very deranged person who unleashed serious violence in the last 8 weeks that we have had this election, including closure of venues that she is not used. So today she was trying to bus people. So we had vehicles. We had a very vigilant reaction at team. Also, what is peaceful is that save for Tafara, it has been fairly peaceful. But having said that, they're trying to put thorns in every step of the way. But I've absolutely no doubt that the citizen will speak, the citizen will make a loud voice, and some people will sleep with their shoes on. That one I can guarantee.
You spoke about the concerns. Have you brought those concerns to the attention of the authorities?
Yes. So one of the things that they are doing, which we have raised as well, if you go to that polling station, you will see that they are asked, protected by the Constitution and the Electoral Act itself. We've asked them why they're doing it. They've given an excuse of COVID. But the COVID regulation needed to be reconciled with the constitutional rights of voters' secrets. We think ZANU-PF is creating a database to be used in future. It's clearly unlawful. In places such as Gletwin, which are full of security people, the inference of intimidation, of coercion, can easily be arrived at. So we've asked them to remove those books. We've also instructed our lawyers, the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, headed by Paida Saurombe. Just now, there's been another instance. We have an agent called Godfrey Chikerem. So he's sitting inside there. He hasn't voted. When he tried to vote, he saw his name already crossed out. So we have raised this with the presiding officer. He says there's nothing he can do, but there's something he can do. He can go to that very same book that they are using that is illegal and see whether Godfrey Chikerema is voted. So there are these shenanigans, which if they can happen in the leafy suburbs of Chisipiti, what more in Mzarabani, what more in Chendambuya, what more in Lotito, what more in Uzumba in Marambafungu. So the election has been a disaster from an election management board. I think ZEC has proved that it can run a competent election. But what the citizen has done, the citizen has been so determined that we'll cross those hurdles. So it's going to be very exciting for President Chamisa, very exciting for the Yellow Brigade. I have absolutely no doubt about it.
So in terms of transparency, how does the current elections or ongoing elections compare with the previous ones?
This is Western. As off was in the intensive care unit. They only realized that they were going to lose at the last minute. With this election now, the yellow movement, the yellow revolution, the yellow wave has engulfed them. So they're trying every trick in the book to try and cheat us. Way. That's where I'm actually registered to vote. So my polling station is Gletwin. So I found myself here. At least my name was here. But I had several other people. I gave a woman a lift who also actually stays in Gletwin. But her name is in Louisam, so it will drive in Louisam. So the long and short of it is that ZEC is incompetent. ZEC must be disbanded, and the country needs to negotiate a supervised election under UN trusteeship. That is the only way forward.
Honorable Biti, if this can happen to you, you are finding that your name has been changed as far as the polling station is concerned. What does the law say before anyone is changed from one polling station to the other? What should be the procedure?
You must consent. You must consent. You must give you. In fact, the onus is on you to make an application. And remember, the change of residence applies across constituencies, not intra-constituency. So if I register to vote as a resident of Drew Road, you can't move me from Chisipiti. If I register to vote as a resident of Kennedy Drive, you can't remove me from Kotni Sedu. If I register to vote at Nengure, you can't remove me from Tafara High. But we are seeing these shenanigans that they're playing. It's like playing tennis with a continuously changing baseline. You know, if you are returning, then the net widens. It's uneven, it's unequal, and it's unacceptable.
How many more thousands could have been affected nationwide due to this shift?
So many people. In one polling station, I saw 13. So if you average 13 times 49 election polling stations in the constituency, it's a huge number.
Did you not know, or you're not aware that your polling station has been changed prior to voting today?
I checked my name. My name is here. I've been voting in Gladwin since the cows had 4 tails, like a Hadra. So I'm surprised. But thank God I've got a car. Thank God this constituency is not a rural area. Suppose I was in Utito in my rural home or Uchendambuya, my right to vote would have been taken away from me.
What legal action are going to be taken about this? Because surely thousands have been affected by this.
We have an office that is noting all these things. And if you go to our Twitter handle, CCRR East, you see these anomalies that are being noted. We also have instructed Zimbabwe lawyers for human rights to take all these things up. We also have reported all these instances to presiding officers, I must say in the majority of cases, they're actually very professional people. We've also reported to the police at the polling station, which I must also confess, I found them, most of them, cooperative. But it's when the higher you go, the colder it becomes. The higher you go, the more fascist it becomes.
What is the official position of ZEC as far as this issue is concerned?
On the issue of the book that they're making people to sign, they showed us a manual that says they're allowed to record from a COVID point of view. We also spoke to Mr. Riwayo, who is the officer in charge of this ward, who said, I can't do anything, you better go to ZEC itself, the head office. With regards to Godfrey Kerema, the presiding officer inside has just said, I can't help. So we are instructing the legal team to help us.
So how do you think this is going to affect next year's election?
I think they are sowing the seeds of shenanigans. So we must do everything in our power to make sure that the necessary reforms are there, to make sure that the constitution is amended, to make sure that the electoral act is amended. There are key things that we want in the electoral act, including the diaspora vote, including live transmission of results, including protection of the ballot in the paper itself. So there are lots of things that we must demand and will demand. You've seen our president laying out the agenda for action for 2022, and reforms is pillar 4 in the agenda that he laid out 2 weeks ago.
After raising all these concerns, how confident are you of
I'm very confident. I'm absolutely confident. I'm absolutely confident. Someone will sleep with shoes on tonight, I can assure you.
Honorable Biti, thank you so much.
Let's go.
Change